Hello, everyone. Hi. Coming to you live. It's time for the monthly Instagram live between myself and Dr. Merhi. And I'm assuming he'll be joining in at any moment. But for everybody who's new, welcome. I am Aimee Raupp. I am an acupuncturist, herbalist, author, and I do a lot of specialty in women's health and fertility. And this is the monthly Instagram live that I get to do with my friend and colleague, Dr. Merhi. I drink bone broth now because of you. Good job. I love it. Dr. Merhi will be joining us. He is a reproductive endocrinologist. He has several fertility shops, if you will, locations in New York City, Long Island, and up near me now in Westport, Connecticut. So I actually have an office out of his office in Connecticut, which is amazing. So we're doing a lot of co-treatment of patients together. And let's give him a second to get on here. We're going to talk, we're going to catch up. I actually haven't seen him myself in like 2 weeks, which is, I think, the longest I've gone without seeing him in a couple months. And so I want to just catch up and hear about any interesting cases that he's had. And then I want to share some exciting news with you guys, which, here he is. Let's see. Dr. Merhi. Okay, I'm going to request you in. There we go. View request. Here he comes.
I heard you missed me.
How are you? I miss you. I feel like this is the longest I've gone without seeing you.
I know. Well, Dr. Marco went on vacation. He went to Lebanon for like 19 days. So I'm like by myself, so I couldn't go to Connecticut. I know. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't go in today either. I'm going to go in tomorrow. I'm going to do some ozone tomorrow myself.
And I'm taking 4 days off in June.
Good for you. Good for you. When are you doing that?
4 days. We're going to Turks and Caicos. I've never been there, so I'm very excited.
Oh, that's exciting.
June 25th to the 29th.
Good. You need it. So
yeah.
I was telling everybody about you, and the one thing
I
can say about this guy is he works.
I want to talk about your new book.
I know.
Excuse me.
I want to just part of I feel like Dr. Merhi and I were like destined to meet one another and be in each other's lives, and I think my role in his life is to get him to slow down a little bit. He's so busy helping women get pregnant and running like a gajillion offices. So I'm very happy to hear that you're going to go on vacation. I'm going to get him on some vitamins.
But I'm going to be working from there. You know that. I can't stop.
No, I know. It's so good. It's so good. But wait, so tell me, how was your week? So you're busy because you're filling in for Dr. Marco?
Yes. I mean, it's good busy. Thank God, doing a lot of PRPs. We had a lot of, transfers, retrievals, hysteroscopies, all that. So all is good, really. I mean, but me, I want to do everything myself. So I feel like
I'm the same.
Yeah. So, but it's good. It's good.
Okay. Yeah. And any good pregnancy stories for us?
There's a lot of good pregnancies. Let me think. A lot of good pregnancies. I jumped a few days ago. I can't remember, but I was jumping happy. Let me think. Yes. I just remembered. Yes. So this patient was my patient at New Hope, and I'm very, very, very excited and happy for her, really.
Okay.
She went through a lot there, followed me from New Hope. She was trying for many, many, many years.
Okay.
So, I don't want to talk about money and stuff like that, but we helped her a lot. And after many IVF cycles, now she got pregnant. So I cannot even tell you, but she bought me a lot of chocolate cake too.
Okay, so that's
if you want
chocolates.
If you want to get pregnant, get me chocolate cake. They get me chocolate from the best bakery in Long Island. I don't remember the name.
Wow.
But it was so good. I actually still have some. I'm going to show you.
And this is what we're going to work on with him. I'm going to take the sugar out of this.
No, serious. Like, look at the, of course, I heart.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Of course, I took a bite from the other one, but
Good for you. It's like a ganache
yeah.
cake. It looks like
So
ganache.
if you want get pregnant, get me chocolate.
Okay, someone asked, how old is she? So she's been trying for a long time, it sounds
43.
like. 43.
Yes.
Did she do like PRP and then into IVF?
We did PRP. We did a lot. We did IUIs, PRP. You know, we tried to be cost effective and stuff like that. But finally she got pregnant with fresh day 5 embryo transfer.
Okay. That's exciting.
The beta ICG is going up properly. Everything looks good. So I'm really, 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 really happy for her.
Okay, good. So someone said, what was her issue? What would you diagnose her with?
It was poor egg quality.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah. I think that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But talking about egg quality.
Talking about egg quality. He's learning.
So
You're learning how to do
I want to talk about your book. So Aimee has a new book. Huge. I know your first book did very, very well. People love it. I want to talk about it. Tell me about
it. So it comes out. It's not out yet officially. It comes out on June 13th, which is really exciting. Dr. Merhi got an early review copy. And yeah, it's the egg quality diet, it's called. And I sprinkled it with quite a bit of research that's coming out, about mitochondrial health and things that we, like things you and I talk about all the time, right, about what we can do to help optimize egg quality, right? And
because it's a big problem. It's a big problem for all of us. Yes.
And regardless of age, it almost seems like a huge problem too. I mean, I feel like I see that and you see that. It's like, of course, as we get older, I think our pipes get more clogged and I think we're more subject to, cellular degradation or things going south, if you will. But there's also just really cool research about what you can do to optimize mitochondrial health and cellular quality, and from an anti-aging perspective too, what you can do to best support yourself. And so doing this for I'm on like 17 years, I just started to really figure out what I think is the ideal diet. And basically it's an elimination diet, and then we add things back in to see how the woman does. But it'll be cool, it'll be exciting. At some point I want to do some kind of research study where we're looking at diet and then also doing something like ozone or PRP. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I don't know if you know, but I've been studying diet, obesity, diet, and bariatric surgery since 2003.
Why? Why is that an area of study for you? Yeah.
Because, look, I mean, being overweight is very common. Like 2/3 of people in the United States are overweight and 1/3 is obese. Trust me, I'm overweight. So it's not easy to be skinny. Okay. Yeah. It's not easy. People think, oh, lose weight, exercise. No, it's not.
It's not easy. I agree. Yeah.
But also when I started, I was doing my OBGYN residency. We did study on bariatric surgery patients. I took AMH before and AMH after, 3 months after bariatric surgery. Now, obese women usually tend to have lower.
What?
Lower. PCOS have higher. You're right.
Okay. Yeah.
Women with obese have lower AMH, poorer egg quality, everything.
It's because compromised blood flow, don't you think? Is it compromised blood flow? Compromised blood flow or malabsorption of nutrition?
No one knows the answer.
Yeah.
But it's inflammation, a lot of other things. Okay, a lot of other things, but most likely inflammation and leptin and all that. Now, we thought, Aimee, we're gonna do bariatric surgery on patients. I work with a surgeon. 3 months afterwards, we thought the AMH would go up after bariatric surgery. It actually dropped down. We were in shock. We published this on Fertility and Sterility. It's published in one of the best journals. This was the first study on bariatric surgery and ovarian reserve. We were in shock. But many other studies after this showed actually that bariatric surgery, after surgical weight loss, you lose a lot of AMH. And a lot of people, they have empty follicles or poorer egg quality. Now,
because they're not absorbing their nutrition, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly why. Because any of my bariatric surgery patients, they have so Chinese medicine perspective, like we look at the bowel movements too, and they all have like very loose, undigested food particles kind of bowel movements.
Is it weird if I drank a sip of wine?
You can have wine, absolutely, you can. um, it's malnourishment because of what the surgery that they've done, and that's the whole thing of like, yeah, I mean that's what the research shows too.
But that's the most, for people who don't think diet affect
that's
fertility
amazing.
and egg quality. That's the best example for people. So you can look at it. It's huge. A lot of people showed it after us. So it's not some.
So it's not weight loss. It's actually it's nourishment. It's the quality of the calories. Yeah.
The dramatic weight loss and the malabsorption of micronutrients is very important for the egg quality.
Important.
And when you deprive the egg from these, you have egg quality, poor egg quality. And that's why your book to me is huge, and people should read it all over the world. Not because I'm promoting you, but it's true. It's so true when I hear people saying, doctors saying to patients, "Oh, diet doesn't affect." Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Go gain 10 pounds and let me know how your feelings become.
Yeah.
It becomes all over the place.
And then the other thing too is I was listening to a lecture yesterday at the Integrated Fertility Symposium, which Lauren, remember I connected you with him. Sorry, we're getting a new roof put on. I had no idea the guys were still going to be working at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I feel like you're in pajamas and stuff like that.
I'm not in my pajamas, but it's kind of like a romper. But so, what was I saying?
Yeah, we're talking about the macronutrients of bariatric surgery. And
So what Dr. Carrie Jones was saying yesterday, and this lecture I listened to yesterday, she was talking about microcirculation to the ovaries and how that actually can impact AMH as well, like positively or negatively, if you compromise blood flow, right? And so, C-section scars, I think, but I was thinking weight as well. And so it's interesting that you could lose weight, but if you don't do it, I think in a way that you're still giving yourself nutrient dense foods.
That's right.
Exercise, and actually, you're going to compromise your AMH, right?
Back to your point, there are studies.
Yeah.
And you can go to PubMed. Everything I'm saying, there is the evidence behind it.
I have a ton of research in my book too, but
diet, weight loss, proper weight loss, listen to this, not bariatrics, improves AMH.
Yeah, of course it does.
Proper.
Because it's exercise, it's proper nutrition. So it's movement. And that's the thing too, like that aging journal that I had sent you, that the one where the guys took like 3.23 years off their genetic life in 8 weeks by following diet. But like it was diet, probiotics, which help heal the gut so you can actually absorb your micronutrients. But movement was a huge part of it. And then there was mindset. And 8 weeks, these guys followed a protocol. And like they ate a lot of vegetables and they ate like nutrient dense foods. So they ate liver. I
hate vegetables.
Well, we're gonna sneak them into you somehow. I know, but they're so good. They're the powerhouse. That feeds our mitochondria, right? And that's what we need to optimize egg quality. And I think another thing that is such a misconception is girls will just like take a boatload of CoQ10 or another antioxidant and not look at their diet. And it's like you're not going to get anything out of that supplement, or at least I think probably a tenth of what you should be getting out of it. You're going to get out of it. He's like literally over my
You're
my
so
office.
funny.
Like,
so back to your book, because I'm very excited.
Thank you. I'm gonna take you guys to another room.
When is it going to be launched? How do people buy it?
So it'll come out June 13th. So right now, it's going to be available for pre-order probably in like a week. I'm taking you guys into my bedroom because I don't think they're on this side of the house.
Funny. Yeah.
And so right now what we're doing as kind of like a taste of what the book's going to offer is I have a free video series going on right now. If you go to aimeeraupp.com/fertility series, and it's a 5-part video series. And so the first video came out yesterday. I talked all about the research behind diet and how it impacts egg quality and mitochondrial health. And then today I talked about, so you think you're on a fertility diet, because so many women, right, are like, oh, I'm doing a fertility diet. I cut out gluten, I cut out dairy, but they're not eating enough vegetables. They're not looking at their macronutrients. So there's some great research too on macronutrients. There was one guy, he's in Delaware. He's got his own clinic. He did his own study where he changed the macronutrient ratios of what his clients were eating. Most of them were doing about 10% protein, like 30% fat, and then the rest carbohydrates. So what's that, like 60% carbohydrates? When he got them to shift to 30% protein, 35% fat, and I think that leaves 20 or 30, 25% carbs or 30% carbs. So basically they increase their protein and decrease their carbs. Their pregnancy success rate quadrupled. Like girls were not, he wasn't getting any genetically normals. He couldn't get to blastocysts. Then all of a sudden they started having successful IVFs and getting pregnant. And it was all just changing the macronutrients of the diet. Isn't that fascinating? So it's like
fascinating.
Fascinating.
But that's why they say we are what we eat. And look, there is tons of studies on vitamin D. So tell us about your book. Like, what are the categories you are dividing? What in your book? What are the categories?
So it's you mean like the table of contents kind of thing? Like what's in it's like
okay, let me make it simpler. Yeah. What is the most important nutrients or micronutrients someone can eat?
I think fat, good quality fat.
What?
Fat does not make you fat. Think
what?
About it. Come on, Mr. Science. You know this. The egg. What is the outer shell of the egg? What is it made of?
It's fat. Phospholipids. Phospholipids. I remember that.
The phospholipid bilayer.
That's pretty interesting.
If you want to improve quality, and what happens? Like you know this from an embryologist perspective. What happens when there's poor egg quality? It's like the sperm goes in, it just doesn't divide properly, right? So it's almost like that egg is a little fragile, right? It kind of divides irregularly. So think about that. If you increase the fat content, I think you kind of soften the egg a little bit. So it's more.
That's interesting.
Like the way the sperm will go in and division will happen. I think it's just like, I think of poor egg quality as like they're fragile eggs, which I think you would say the same, right? Fragile. And then they can get, I don't know. If you look at like the fragmentations that happen when you look at an embryo.
Of course they become fragile. Look, I always tell my patients when we were younger, when I was younger, I would fall on the floor, I would bounce back. But now when I fall on the floor, you're calling 911.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why the egg is very sensitive, especially women above 38.
So it's fat and it's protein. And most people, and then it's also like, so I mean, I tend to think like the general rule of thumb is 6 to 8 servings of vegetables a day for the mitochondrial content. Then you need good quality fat like ghee. Oh my God, I feel like these guys are following me. Ghee, coconut oil, bone broth, and then good quality protein like fish and animal protein. So I'm breaking up the macronutrients in the diet. It's about 45% fat, 30 or so percent protein, and then the rest carbohydrates. So it's like 25% carbs, because carbs are super important to balancing blood sugar and allowing their hormones to be balanced. But yeah, some studies show you could go up to 60% fat. You want to be careful. You don't go keto. You can't go too low on the carbs, but 60% fat. There's this one book called Deep Nutrition, and she studies all different, populations. And the population, I forget where they were, but that had women like latest in life and had children, latest in life and healthy children. They ate upwards of 60% fat. And it was basically from like salmon and like fish roe.
Interesting.
And then there's also interesting studies on the omega-3 to 6 ratio, right? So we know the level of inflammation really impacts, egg quality. So omega-6 are the pro-inflammatories. Omega-3s are the anti-inflammatories. And there's other studies on just like, the micronutrients, the omegas, and then the antioxidant rich foods. There's a ton of study on antioxidants and what they can do to improve egg quality and fertility outcomes. So, I just comb through all the research, and then also like what I've seen clinically. And I think too, like the key with the diet that I'm presenting in egg quality and the egg quality diet is it's an elimination diet. So every woman's going to figure out what works for her body and what doesn't, based on her symptoms and based on how her body responds.
Right.
So, and I say this too, is like everybody and I recommend it as well, is like cut out gluten, cut out dairy, but not every woman actually needs to cut those things out. And some women need to cut out.
So you basically individualize based by base patient. Let's say, first of all, am I getting a free copy of the book?
Yeah, you did in your
good.
email.
So
we'll
continue the conversation.
Free copies, yes.
So we'll continue the conversation. So do you individualize the diet based on every patient? Like, do you?
Try to.
I'm sorry. Do you ask them like what they eat for breakfast and lunch and like how?
All of it. I make them keep a detailed food diary of everything they eat throughout the day, what time they eat, how they feel after it, what their bowel movement was like that day. So I go into like the nitty gritty when I work one-on-one with patients or anybody, any of my associates. The book, you know, some of it's going to be, obviously you're going to have to be accountable for yourself, but I'm giving them the food diary and I'm giving them the symptom list that they check in with on a weekly basis to see how their body is shifting and changing. And I explain to them like the signs of inflammation, because there are so many outward signs of inflammation, like eczema or psoriasis, skin issues, like joint issues, brain fog, fatigue, inability to lose weight. Those are all clear-cut signs. And so I try to point out to everyone that
if someone likes to eat cookies and chocolate cake, what would you say to them?
I mean, sugar is an inflammatory substance. And, you know, one thing I do kind of joke around with my girls, like everything in moderation. We try to stay under 15 grams of added sugar a day. If you're going to do it, it should be like, make it yourself. Like make a really good sweet treat at home with really good quality ingredients. Buying it packaged is probably where the problem lies, because they're using crappy vegetable oils, which are pro-inflammatory. They're using crappy quality ingredients, which have pesticides. And we know that that's linked to, you know, genetic issues and fertility issues and hormonal issues. So make it yourself and make something yummy. You know, like I use raw cacao kind of all the time. I have this like chocolate ghee sauce. It's freaking delicious. Like we make stuff, you know, there's fun ways to do it.
You're so funny. So, so the book is coming June 13th. I'm getting a free copy.
You're getting a free copy.
And what else we need to know about the book?
Well, I think go and check out the fertility series that's launched, that's going on right now, the video series, and you're going to get like a real good taste of all the things in the book. And then if you enter into that fertility series, you're going to get information on like pre-order gifts. And
like, is it going to be on Amazon and stuff? Or
yeah. It'll be.
Okay, so that's good. When is it
it's going to be on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. So we have a digital copy coming out and a physical copy. And yeah, I'm super excited. It's the Egg Quality Diet. You gave me a beautiful endorsement for the book. So I'm excited for that. Or endorsement on me.
I'm very happy for you. I'm really happy for you. Okay, look, I mean, the reality is diet is important. And I can tell you during the pandemic, I mean, a lot of us gained weight.
Yeah, I know.
The question is,
but it's also like weight
how are we
doesn't
going
equate
to
to good
go
fertility,
back
right?
to normal, you know?
Yeah, I know, same.
It's shocking.
I was thinking about this before though. I don't know if you spend enough time asking women what their diets are, but do you see?
I don't, not really.
Do you ever see, like, if a woman says, oh, I changed my diet, and you see like a better cycle? Have you ever, like, any of that ever noted for you, or?
Hell yeah. I mean, I have people who lose weight, go on vacation, come back happy. Their ovaries are happy.
Yeah.
Look, I do believe, Amy, even stress is not good. I always tell my patients.
Stress is terrible.
They walk like this. Some patients like, oh, like, come on, you know.
Yeah.
You have to believe, because stress is not good. You know, cortisol and all that stuff.
Terrible.
When you're stressed out, cortisol level go up. You eat junk food because we're all, you know, stressed out, and it becomes a vicious
cycle. And then
cortisol
impacts all the, you know, male hormones, which are like, you know, part of the outside, right? I was watching this video yesterday too about the theca cells, and their main job is like androgenic hormones. It's the outer, you know, the theca cells of the ovary. And so if you think about that, they're like directly impacted by cortisol levels, because cortisol, like the HPA axis, it impacts the androgens in the body, which 100% impact egg quality.
So we're going to take a few questions.
Okay, let's do it.
It is.
Yeah, you got 7:25.
We still have 5 minutes.
5 minutes, because then he's gonna go.
No. I'm fine with that, as long as you're fine.
No, I'm okay too. I think it's good.
Maya is asking, how can I tell if the CoQ10 vitamins I'm taking is actually effective? Is there a blood test?
No.
Great question. No, we don't know. Most studies, Maya, have looked. Most studies looked at CoQ10 at 600 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams for women with low ovarian reserve / poor egg quality. That's what I'm aware of. Now, I'm not sure how Amy gives it and how much, but the reality is CoQ10 in particular has very low absorption. Less than 10% almost get absorbed. So that's why you need a lot of the CoQ10. So I tell my patients between 600 to 1,000 milligrams, but unfortunately there is no test.
I think too, like some people can feel really racy on it. So I also think there's like a ton of other antioxidants that could also do similar positive effects, like on the mitochondrial function. So that's one antioxidant that can be helpful that has been studied, but to not overlook, like the whole fact is you can't out supplement a crappy diet or a crappy lifestyle. Like, and if you're have poor digestion or you're not absorbing your nutrition, like you're absorbing 15% of that vitamin. Like I think that's what some research says. 15% of most vitamins are absorbed, and then it's if it's a crappy quality vitamin, if it has fillers in it, like there's so many layers to it. So I think it can be definitely useful, but to not overlook the importance of the entire lifestyle situation, like diet, exposure to toxins in your environment, stress levels.
Next question.
Yeah.
Ghee,
Yeah.
G-H-E, is just dairy. Why is it that good quality?
Ghee is not dairy.
That's a
Ghee
question
is
for you.
dairy free. Ghee is actually clarified butter, which the dairy proteins are
My
sloughed
mom
off.
used to cook everything with ghee.
Yeah, it's the best.
Is it?
It's the best. I use it on my skin every day too. That rejuvenating facial oil that I make is ghee. So ghee does not have dairy. You only should buy actually like recommended. Certified dairy-free ghees, and you can see that on the label. The Pure Indian brand is one of my favorites. So ghee is actually not dairy.
Okay. Sorry, I know nothing about that. What about the effect? Someone is asking, what about the effect of weight gain from hormones during IVF? How does that impact egg quality? Great questions. I don't know. But all I can tell you is women who undergo IVF, they do retain more water. That's usually reversible at the end of the cycle.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of any study that looked at that weight gain during the egg quality. Sorry, I don't know the answer.
Yeah, and I always say too, like estrogen is stored in fat cells, right? So it's like, I think when there's more estrogen exposures, the body just tends to hold on to it. And also to think about too, like your liver's just having a hard time processing out all of the medicines. And so, it does usually even out in the wash. Like hopefully you get pregnant, and, basically what I tend to see in the clinic is then women just don't tend to gain weight in that first trimester, and they kind of even out by the end. So keep that in mind. Or it might be a sign too that maybe you need to take a month or two off of cycles, kind of like, reset your system. You could do something like the egg quality diet, and then go back in because your liver's getting a little more backed up. That's my sense too.
So someone's asking, do you have experience with Asherman syndrome? Yes, I do.
Yes, he does. He just did a beautiful hysteroscopy on a patient of mine.
How do you know?
Last week, because I know everything. I know what you do. And I'll say this too, and two other.
I have to tell you, I love fixing like a nice, beautiful. Like it makes me so happy. Like really.
Well, and it's so important. And her, like Asherman's, I think can be overlooked, and I think and not properly diagnosed, right? Wouldn't you agree? Because it's like, I would love to know this too. Like, how did two other people look inside her uterus and not see the amount of scarring you saw? Can you? And I'm not trying to make any blame or anything, but can you explain that to me? Of like, how is it missed sometimes?
Can you repeat the question, because I was reading questions and everything.
Asherman's. How can it be like? How is scarring missed sometimes in the uterus? By
so let me tell you how it's missed.
And how come one guy finds it, another guy doesn't?
Look, every doctor. I always tell my patients, every doctor is good and they have good intention, right?
We're not going to talk
about
that.
Let me tell you an example. Let's say you have a big polyp. I'm going into your uterus. I have a big polyp in front of me, and there is scarring behind it, right?
Right.
Now, I started to cut the polyp. I don't see the scarring behind it. I'm starting to cut the polyp, right, to take it out because I want to help you. As you cut polyp, as you start doing things, Aimee, the bleeding starts. The picture starts to get foggy.
You can't see it.
And then you can't see it. It doesn't mean the doctor. That's why
that's why I was asking, because I think I've seen doctors I really like admire and think they're brilliant, and I'm like, I don't know how they missed that, but it's that's why I was asking. I would love to understand, because I think they're amazing doctors. Yeah.
So they're all good, but it's just we miss it. We're human, but that's why even though I have
think that's good to remember.
I did have hysteroscopy many times. I say honestly, I love you, but I only trust myself, not because I don't trust the other doctor. Because things we're human can be missed, and also, Aimee. A small scarring or adhesion for us is nothing, but for an embryo, it's like a mountain.
Yeah, such a good
microscopic.
Yeah.
So that's why very, very important to look inside the uterus. Someone is asking, Miss Dr. Merhi, Miss you too, Maya.
Aw.
Do you recommend PRP to improve egg quality?
Yes, I saw that.
It's very hard for me to recommend something that's still experimental. I can't recommend something that's experimental. It can help for a lot of women. It doesn't work for others. I've seen magic with PRP, but I've seen people who did not respond to PRP. I have to tell you this.
Yeah.
So it might or might not work for you. I always compare it to COVID. It's a bad example. I know that. But some people get COVID and don't feel anything. Some people get COVID and die. We don't know why. There's so many factors, genetics, so many things, right? Race, everything plays a role. I mean, I can tell you, I have patients. Oh, by the way, you're asking me now about, I remembered someone. You asked me about something exciting in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I have a patient who has premature ovarian insufficiency because she has fragile X premutation.
Ah, okay.
For 7 years, she was my patient at New Hope. We gave her a baby back then. Very difficult case. For 7 years, no follicles. Monitoring. The PRP, nothing. PRP, like I said to you earlier, one time, women who have fragile X, for some reason, this mutation becomes so hard for the PRP to work.
Get around.
But guess what we did?
What?
We went through so much literature search. We found one case report in the literature where they put Manipure, gonadotropin, inside the PRP, then they inject inside the ovary.
Shut up.
Swear to God. I swear. We did this, got one follicle, one egg, one embryo frozen on day 3, yesterday or today, I can't remember.
Woo! That's amazing.
Swear to God. So now she's telling all her friends on fragile X mutation, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I can tell you, I did PRP on her without this. It didn't work. But when we put Manipure in it, look, it's scary to do new things. And I said to her, I said,
obviously that's experimental and she knows that.
Yeah. I said to her, I do anything that's been done before, as long as we both understand there's no risk on your health.
Yeah.
And we put Manipure in the PRP and inject it. Yes. When she gets pregnant, and hopefully she will, I know she will, she's going to come with me on Instagram and talk about it.
Wow. And then would that be something you would offer to other clients? Is that something like a case by case and you see?
Case by case. If someone has fragile X premutation, I'll probably go through this case and probably look at the literature and, it's always scary to do the first thing,
Yeah. And with PRP, I have a question.
I need to go drink.
Oh yeah, go drink. Wait, one quick question that I have. For PRP, is it something women could do a couple times and then eventually it would work? Or is it like if it doesn't work the first time, you're done?
No, that's not true. That's not true.
So. Yeah.
That's not true. I can tell you, at least I can think of 3 patients who did PRP on the second time and got pregnant naturally. Wow. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. You never know.
People tell me, do you recommend I do more than once? I say, and I'm very straightforward, I don't know. I don't want to take your money. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had this and this and this. Because for me to tell someone, oh, let's do PRP and pay, I can't do that. So all I can tell you is it's I don't know the answer. It does work sometimes the second or even the third time. There's one study where they did PRP 3 times, once a month for 3 months, and they found significant improvement.
Wow.
But I need more studies before I recommend something.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy who's selling things to make money. I'm being honest with you. I'm very careful with
you're the opposite of that guy. You are so not that guy.
It's a fine line.
You're so invested in your patients. You care so much. Yeah.
Just to let you know, now there is a Facebook group on RFC, and it's a new, and somebody told me that, oh, Dr. Merhi raised his prices. I didn't raise my prices. The price of the needles went up, but it's still the same price. So I'm not sure. I'm not.
That's funny.
I want to make it clear. Like there's some confusion there. But
and guess what? You're also allowed to raise your prices because the price of everything starts to go up at some point.
Aimee, I'm telling you, if the needle increased by 400% that we used to use because of the pandemic, which doesn't make any sense to me. Look, it's not that. It's just I just want to pay my overhead and my staff.
That's it.
It went 400%.
Yeah.
For what? I don't even understand why.
It's annoying.
So anyway.
Okay, I'm going to let you go. You're going to go. Okay. We love you.
Congratulations on your book. I'm really
thank you.
happy.
Yeah,
I'm very
we'll keep talking about it.
I'm very proud of you. Very proud of you.
Thank
very
you.
proud of you. But the third book is going to be you and me.
Yeah, that'll actually be, so, you know, this is my fourth book coming out. Did you know that?
Sorry, I didn't know that.
So no, the fifth book will be me and you, and I can't wait. Yeah, we're going to start brainstorming that now.
Good. We'll put like our picture together on the line.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what we'll do. We're going to talk about all the ways you can rejuvenate your ovaries. That's going to be our next book, right? Oh, what do we call it? The Ovarian Rejuvenation Protocol.
Bye.
Bye. Okay,
love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.